The construction industry is evolving rapidly, creating new opportunities to improve safety, equipment management, and operational efficiency. In this episode, we discuss how Veristart is transforming equipment access, enhancing accountability on job sites, and what these changes mean for the future of construction. To help us with the discussion is Craig Hannam. Craig is the co-founder and CEO of Veristart Technologies. With more than 25 years of experience in operations, finance, and equipment rental, he is helping modernize construction through smarter equipment access and improved job safety. And he joins us today. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you for having me.
Craig, this piece of technology that you have developed is nothing short of stunning. We met when you had visited Mississauga, and you showed me the technology. Let's go back and start at what prompted you to even think about this, because it sounds like it was 25 years in the making.
Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah, a long time. So if I go rewind, I started working with United Rentals back in '99. So we're going back 27 years. And I remember very early days with United Rentals, someone came up to me and said, "Hey, Craig, we need to order a bunch of these sets of keys for our construction equipment, for all of our equipment." And United Rentals had hundreds of thousands of machines. And I was fresh out of college, and I thought, what do you mean one set of keys can operate all of our machinery? That doesn't make any sense. And certainly, it's been that way a long time. So, for example, in my set of keys here in my hand, this Caterpillar key, well, that starts just about every Caterpillar machine. John Deere has the same thing, Hitachi, and so on. All the brands have, for the most part, one key that operates their machinery. And when you're, working on and working with construction sites, you realize pretty quickly that for many years was a pretty necessary evil, because you couldn't have a huge excavator in the middle of a job site and shut the site down because Bill went home with the key in his pocket. So it's a very, very logical reason why all this machinery, had to have these ubiquitous keys that everybody seemed to have a set. And by the way, I bought my set here on Amazon for like $25. So it's certainly things have changed. Back then, if I wanted to buy that set of keys, there was a parts catalog, and I went to the back page or somewhere, and you probably had to fax in an order. But now it's really easy to get them. But certainly it was clear why these machines had this ubiquitous keys. But as time went on, technology has accelerated to the point that we certainly can create a solution to that now, which is what we've done with Veristart.
I found it absolutely stunning when you told me that when we met, that one key would fit all the Caterpillar, and I imagine it's the same with is it Katsuma, like any of the construction equipment, the big construction equipment, it happens with. And after we met, I happened to be visiting a friend who has a farm. It's a soybean farm. I think they have 1,000 acres. And he took me into his equipment shed. And he's got these massive, people tease him. He said, you can use one tractor for multiple things. And he says, yeah, but I just buy another one. And so he's got 5 of these big tractors. He's got combines. And I said, does one key start them all? He said, yeah, basically one key starts them all. So that was stunning in itself. You have a very interesting story that happened with a couple of thieves that stole a grader. Tell us that story and why this works, why this is an important segue into the invention that you have created.
Well, actually, that story is sort of the catalyst for what got me interested in this. So, I worked with United Rentals for a long, long time, but I had left and I was doing other things. And about 4 or 5 years ago, there was a rash of break-ins where thieves were stealing backhoes, loaders, excavators, whatever machinery happened to be close by, and using it to basically tear the wall out of a bank branch to get the ATMs, and they earned a nickname, the backhoe bandits.
The
So,
backhoe bandits.
right. So this is around, Mount Pearl, St. John's, Newfoundland, where we're based, and oh, it must have been, 4 or 5 different break-ins like in a matter of weeks, where these and the destruction left behind. If you can imagine an excavator removing an ATM through the wall, it's a pretty massive ordeal. So that's what got us started on this problem. When that started happening, and of course I knew that one set of keys operated all these machines. I thought surely someone must have developed a solution by now to help construction equipment owners, prevent this sort of thing from happening. And when I checked, I mean, there are different solutions that are, somewhat effective depending on your application, but I didn't think there was anything out there that really did the job that owners need, which is why we started developing Veristart right there and then.
And the bandits, they don't take the machine with them.
No,
They load the ATM, they leave the piece of equipment there. So the construction company or the rental company, they get the piece of equipment back. It's very hard to destroy a backhoe, but they leave the equipment there. They get it back. In the meantime, the bank's sitting there with no wall, and they
yeah,
and they have to go through that. I think some of the other pieces of equipment that or the starting devices you mentioned, there is a keypad one, but yours is different. How is yours different from what's on the market?
yeah. So what we have that's different is, we put a device. I got one here in my hand, for example. We put this in the machine, and it disconnects the ignition and basically becomes a smart switch on that ignition. And the way that an operator can use that machine is through a set of digital keys on a mobile app on their phone. So that way, construction equipment owners can assign access to only the individual operators they want to be able to operate that machine and not anybody else. And, and if an operator or anybody tries to start that machine who doesn't have a digital key and doesn't have access, the machine just simply doesn't start for them. So, and it goes way beyond just and access control. One of the things we do, as you can probably see on my screen here, is we'll put a checklist button
Hmm.
in their way as well. So if there's a pre-start checklist that's always supposed to be done before this machine is started, or maybe just done before the machine is started the first time each day or whatever, then we can enforce that that gets done before the machine can even be started. So in addition to preventing theft and preventing unauthorized access, we make sure that the operator is safe and has done their safety checks before they start.
And you never need to worry about if Billy goes home with the keys because the operators will have this. I think the other important part to your story as well is that if for some reason you need to part company with an operator, and you're concerned that they have keys to a piece of equipment, you can turn their access off remotely as well,
Yeah.
which is very helpful. Help us understand how that works.
Well, it's actually it's we try to keep everything in our system as simple as possible because construction people are busy. They need something that just works and works really well and simply. So what happens is the fleet manager or the site super logs into the system. He clicks on a particular operator and he can tick the machines that operator should operate, and he can untick the ones that he shouldn't operate. And when the adds access to a particular machine, that digital key appears instantly on the phone. And when he takes the one away, that key disappears instantly from the phone. So it's as simple as, online, going online, making a few clicks, and that operator who maybe shouldn't be operating a particular machine or any machines maybe is instantly removed from access. It's super quick and easy.
And you can also, this is a question, can you designate operators for certain pieces of equipment? So they might be trained on a backhoe, but they're not trained on an excavator. And I'm even shocked myself that I even know that those are two different pieces of equipment.
Well done. Yeah.
But but you can so depending on their training, you can designate that, correct?
Well, exactly, and that's sort of the stunning sort of results of having these common keys now is that on a particular job site, for example, you could have an operator who's approved to use the skid steer loader. Maybe you got a little cat skid steer loader that you use to clear snow around the work site or whatever. And that guy who's operating the skid steer happens across an excavator that's in his way. Well, that same cat key, he can jump in and move that excavator. And lots of times, these are people trying to do a good job, and they think they're being helpful. But if they're untrained and unsafe in that excavator, then that introduces a huge risk. So our system, yes, you can control exactly what machines, regardless of brand, regardless of anything, you can designate operators to only the machines that you want them to use and they're trained and safe to use.
I know you've designated this, or your target right now is construction companies, but I see this as far reaching. Like you could go into anyone that has a fleet. We're talking about, police departments, taxis, those kinds of things. Can it work across these types of platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. So it can work on any machine that has a key or a push button ignition, basically any circuit that we can interrupt to prevent that machine from being started by an unauthorized person. Yeah, and there are loads of potential applications. I mean, some of the things we're uh, working on is city fleets, because of course most cities and municipalities are basically small construction companies. They've got pretty decent sized fleets of snow clearing equipment, all that sort of stuff. Even airports, the aircraft tugs and luggage carts and all that sort of thing. Those are all you know machines that need some form of access control, and where safety and security are key considerations. So there are loads of potential applications.
I'm thinking, buses.
Yeah.
For city buses or police vehicles. It's far-reaching. So, what's next for you, Craig? What's next for you and your partner to take Veristar to the next level?
Yeah, so I mean, so we started Veristart, a little over 3 years ago. It takes a long time to build some of this technology, so we've been piloting now with some great customers. One of the ones we spoke about, Ellis Don. We won a startup competition with Ellis Don last year, which was a great opportunity for us, and we've been piloting with them. So, over the next 12 months, we hope to, expand to more of those kind of world-class construction companies doing pilots and expanding throughout fleets. Primarily focused right now on construction, but as you mentioned, there are opportunities elsewhere. So yeah, that's our plan for the next year.
Well, a genius invention. If you like this
Thank you.
video, give it a like. And if you enjoy the content, smash that subscribe button and get notified of our next episode. Thanks to my guest, Craig Hannam, and for being here today with us. This is David Wojcik for MBOT TV Zoomcast, wishing you continued success in your business.